And we begin today with some major developments in the race to the White House. First, former President Trump will speak for the first time tonight since the attempt on his life, as you look live at the Republican National Convention floor there in Milwaukee. The former president set to formally accept his party's nomination. His speech and the official nomination will come as the Biden campaign is facing a major setback out on the campaign trail. President Biden right now in isolation, canceling several events after testing positive for COVID. And this is just the latest hurdle for the president, who has seen the walls of support around his campaign caving in. Some of his biggest supporters in the past now calling on the president to exit the race. We have team coverage on this busy news day. Robert Sherman and Joe Khalil, both live for us at the RNC in Milwaukee. They'll join me in just a moment with more on what we can expect tonight. But first, we want to get out to correspondent Kelly Meyer, who is live from the White House. Kelly is covering the Biden campaign. And Kelly, the president's grip on his own party seems to be slipping. You have just learned the campaign is now trying to shut down reports Biden could drop out as early as this weekend.
Yeah, Nicole, the White House really trying to shut down those headlines, telling us that the president told both leaders, Schumer and Jeffries, he is the nominee and plans to win. This as reporting Democratic leaders of the House and the Senate told Biden privately that he needs to step down. Schumer's office telling NewsNation that the leader conveyed the views of his caucus to President Biden over the weekend. And leader Hakeem Jeffries privately met with President Joe Biden a week ago. This statement we got from his office saying, quote, on behalf of the House Democratic Caucus, he directly expressed the full breadth and insight, perspective and conclusions reached about the path forward after extensive colleague-to-colleague discussions. Any further characterization of the private one-on-one meeting between President Biden and Leader Jeffries is speculative and uninformed. The letter sent by Leader Jeffries to his House Democratic colleagues speaks for itself. But the headlines aren't stopping. As you mentioned, Nicole, Axios reporting several top Democrats say the pressure building will persuade Biden to decide to drop out of the presidential race as early as this weekend. The Biden-Harris campaign trying to shut that down today, writing, quote, Joe Biden is his party's nominee. He's the president of the United States. He's running for re-election. Baseless conjecture from anonymous sources isn't a scoop. Tonight, a convicted felon will talk about how he'll make people's lives worse if he gains power. Let's focus. The campaign and the Democratic National Committee in Milwaukee ahead of Trump's RNC speech tonight saying this.
The vice president is a part of the Biden-Harris ticket. Our campaign is not working through any scenarios where President Biden is not the top of the ticket. He is and will be the Democratic nominee.
And President Biden now back in Rehoboth after a West Coast campaign stop and testing positive for COVID on Wednesday, landing last night saying, quote, I am doing well when he got to Delaware. Now, the White House says he is continuing his duties from Rehoboth, where he is now self-isolating. Nicole.
All right, Kelly Meyer live for us there in Washington. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.